Prices are dropping, homes are sitting longer, but here's the twist. Inventory is plummeting by 27%. Is this the calm before the storm or the perfect opportunity for golf access buyers? Stick around because what happens next could completely change the game for you. Now the trend is unmistakable. As prices continue to drop, fewer homes are available. Are we seeing some sellers still holding out for the perfect offer? While others start to adjust. It's a market influx, and whether you're buying or selling, there are opportunities if you know where to look. Here's what we're seeing. Prices have decreased significantly, but are we at the bottom or just witnessing a pause in the market's correction? Homes are taking longer to sell, but could lower inventory shift that dynamic in the coming months? Motivated sellers are adjusting their expectations, and this could be the sweet spot for buyers to step in. With inventory still declining, the pressure on buyers is mounting. Will they act before it's too late? This is a unique moment in the golf access market, and in today's update here in Cape Coral, I'll walk you through what's really happening and what it means for your next move. Let's dive into the numbers and break it all down. I'm Barry Cessna, your Cape Coral golf access specialist, and in this update, I'll walk you through what's really happening behind the scenes and how to position yourself for success on either side of the transaction. Now, if you're thinking about buying, selling, relocating, or retiring here in my favorite city, Cape Coral, click the link to schedule your strategy session, and let's talk about how to make your waterfront move your smartest one yet. Let's dive into the numbers and break it all down.
Welcome to the Cape Coral Golf Access Canal Homes Market Update for August 2025. This is your single family homes market update for homes that sit directly on golf access canals. We're going to dive in, we're going to look at the market, we're going to look at how many homes actually sold in the month of July, how much inventory is currently available. It is shrinking, so we're going to investigate that and find out why, and then see where prices are going as well. So let's go ahead and jump right in. My name is Barry Cessna, your Cape Coral Golf Access Canal Specialist, and I can't wait to go over the numbers with you. Let's go ahead and jump in. So first up, we got to understand the market indicators. This tells us exactly what's going on in the market. We have to understand what the numbers are telling us. So first up is inventory. This is how many homes are currently available on the market. This is how many homes are available for you to purchase. Median price point. This is the median price point. 50% of the homes sold above this amount, 50% of the homes sold below this amount. This number helps us see trends going up and down and which direction the market is actually moving. And then we have days on the market. How many days are homes sitting on the market before going under contract? This one actually jumped quite a bit this month, and I've got some speculation on why that happened, so we're going to dive into that. But that's all about demand and then closed sales. How many homes actually sold here in the city of Cape Coral? These golf access canal homes that sit directly on the canal, single family, how many homes actually sold? That's about the demand as well. And how do we compare to last year? We actually did better this year than last year. So 2025 better than 2024. We haven't really seen that a whole lot for the first part of the year, but for this month, the month of July, we finished stronger this year than last year. Okay, first up, we're going to look at active inventory. How many homes are currently available here in the city of Cape Coral? So we have 674 homes currently available for July 2025 here in the city of Cape Coral. That's golf access canal homes. April 2025, we had 920 homes. So that's actually a 27% decrease from where we were in April. And looking at March, we were actually higher than that. So we've come down quite a bit in inventory. We'll jump into that in just a moment. Where were we at in July 2024, 1 year ago? 647 homes. So that's only about a 4% increase year over year for golf access canal homes here in the city of Cape Coral. We've seen that number substantially higher over the last few years. As we came out of the pandemic, we were extremely low in inventory in 2022. And then we started jumping up year over year, substantial amounts. And then this last one, we jumped quite a bit in January, February, March. But over the last couple of months, we've started to see that inventory start to drop down quite a bit. Year over year, we're only about 4%, which is quite a surprise to me. But it seems like it's a roller coaster, and we're just kind of getting to the top, that year over year number, because it keeps getting smaller and smaller. And eventually, we're going to be heading back down the other direction as that inventory decreases. We're going to keep an eye on that over the next few months, but I think that that's really going to we're going to see where that goes once we get into January, February, and see if that's really true and how the market plays out. So here we are. Inventory last year, as you can see here, we did trickle down going into the fall months. That typically does happen. And then we jumped up quite a bit January, February, March. But we dropped off a lot more than I was expecting. So inventory is dropping. Why is it dropping? Number one, we have sold a lot of houses over the last 6 months. Number two, A lot of homes that are not selling, sellers are deciding that they don't want to sell them anymore. They're not willing to drop the prices to where they can actually find a buyer. So they are pulling those homes off the market. So we're seeing that happen as well. And just different things happening here in the city of Cape Coral. But that's the biggest thing, is people pulling homes back off the market because they know the number that they need to get in order to sell their house. And if they're not getting that number, they're not willing to go below that amount. They're just willing to hold on until the inventory drops a little bit, or maybe interest rates drop and prices start to increase again, and then they'll put their homes back on the market. And it's also the time of year where we don't see as many new homes coming to the market, just because most sellers here, or good agents, will tell their sellers that buyers are not as plentiful right now, so there's not as much competition. So they don't have as many people looking at their house as they would, say, in February, March, or April. However, if you are a buyer, that does give you a good opportunity to not have competition this time of year, and there are some good homes that do hit the market this time of year. So next up, we have median price point. So for July 2025, $658,000 for a Gulf Access Canal home here in the city of Cape Coral. April 2025, $719,500, just 3 months ago. And then July 2024, $727,500. So as you can see, this is a considerable drop from where we were just 3 months ago. But I do want to point out, this number fluctuates up and down. And if we go back to November 2024, we were actually at $650,000. And then we jumped up quite a bit in December. And then we've been trickling down ever since. Last month, we jumped up almost to 750 again, not quite. And now we're trickling back down the other direction. I do foresee us trickling down a little bit. A lot of times this time of year, a lot of the investors come in and they'll pick up the homes that didn't sell during the busy time, the season. And a lot of the sellers are willing to let those go at a lower price point, just so they don't have to hold on to those going into the dead time or the slower time of the year, which is typically the middle of August or the middle of October. So I think that's where that's at. We saw that price come down. A lot of the lower end homes, the homes that needed a lot of work, actually sold, pulling down the overall median price point. Days on the market. This is where it really surprised me. I know we're trending high, but July 2025, we had 111 days on the market. That's median. So 50% of the homes that went under contract were on the market for 111 days or more. Or that's what's sitting on the market right now. April 2025, it was 64 days before going under contract. July 2024, 62 days. Now, one of the things we want to dive into, and I think what a lot of this is there's a lot of sellers that have had their homes on the market for 200 days, 250 days, 300 days. They're not willing to negotiate the price. They're not willing to let the price drop below what they believe their home is worth. And sure, it might have been worth that a year ago, 2 years ago, but today it's not worth that. So, but they're not willing to take a cut in the price for how much they want for their home. So they understand that their home's just going to sit on the market, hoping that maybe a buyer does come along that falls in love with it, and that's possible. But that's what's creating this days on the market number to be so much higher, is homes that were put on the market back in January, February, even in last year, and they're still sitting on the market today. That's really pulling this number up to 111. But I didn't think it was going to be that high. I thought we might be in the 70s or 80s, but it jumped to 111. Next month, we'll probably drop down quite a bit more. But we'll keep an eye on that as homes sit on the market longer and longer. The ones that aren't selling pulls the overall number up. Closed sales. So July 2025, we had 71 homes that sit on Gulf Access Canal homes close in July 2025. April 2025, we had 92 homes sell. And then July 2024, 63 homes sell. So definitely we're moving inventory here. A lot of people are coming in and buying. They're taking advantage of the opportunities. Some of the good deals are finding the motivated sellers, and they're taking advantage of that and getting those great prices. And so we are seeing sales happen here in the city. It's not like it's a ghost town and nobody's buying. Homes that are priced right or homes that have the upgrades are definitely selling quicker than others. If we look back to where we were just 1 year ago, we were at 63. So we actually sold more homes in 2025, 71, than last year. And last year overall was a lot stronger going through season, but this might be a sign of things changing here. More sales happening in July this year than last year. We'll see how that trend goes as we head into the fall and see if that continues to outpace last year as well. As you can see, as we went into August, it was a little bit higher than last July, and then once we get into those slower months, September, October, we see it really trickle off. What really surprised me this year was January 2025. We had very low numbers. February was a little bit better, before we actually got into full swing into the season of March, April, May, and June. So we started off really slow last year, which has brought our overall numbers down this year. However, I believe once we get into this year, if we see interest rates come down at all, we're going to start to see prices and sales going up. So let's keep an eye on that. Okay, other key numbers to be aware of. The sold price per square foot, $344 a square foot. That's a little bit lower than it has been, so that did come down a bit. List price received, 94.6% of the last list price. Now what that means is that sellers are still giving discounts from where their list price is at. Oftentimes this is in the amount of either maybe it's money off the purchase price, maybe it's money towards closing costs. We're seeing a lot of that now as sellers are giving money towards closing costs to help out the buyers, or they're giving money towards buying down points, meaning that they can get a lower interest rate for the next 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, that really brings that payment much lower, with the likelihood that rates will continue to fall and then they can refinance in a few years. But it really helps people that get into homes right now with the higher interest rates, with the anticipation of rates coming down. Now, is that going to happen? Nobody knows. However, we definitely expect them to come down at least below 6%, hopefully down into the 5%. 4%, 3%, 2%, probably not anytime soon. Next up, new listings. This is surprising. So we only had 90 new Gulf Access Canal home listings come to the market in July 2025. Why that's surprising is just a few months ago in April, we had 190 new homes come to the market in April. And I believe back in February, it was close to 230 new homes, new listings come to the market. Not new homes, new listings came to the market. And so we're seeing that trickle off quite a bit now to where we only had 90 Gulf Access Canal homes come to the market in July 2025. And that'll probably start to decrease as we go into the next few months until we get into November, December. Then we're going to start to see that inventory number of new inventory increase. Months of inventory, 9.5 months of inventory. That's how many months it would take to completely sell out all the active inventory we have on the market right here in the city of Cape Coral if we didn't have another new home come to the market. So 9.5 months, definitely a buyer's market. Anything over 6 months is considered a buyer's market. So we're well within that range of a buyer's market, which means buyers have the biggest leverage and opportunity right now to get the best prices. The overall Cape Coral market, for instance, though, is only about 6.5 months of inventory, so just barely into a buyer's market. But these Gulf Access Canal homes, the higher end product, is giving more opportunity for the buyers with that higher months of inventory. Okay, let's jump into let's compare the quadrants. So as many of you know, Cape Coral has 4 main quadrants: southeast, northeast, northwest, and southwest. Now only 3 of those quadrants actually have Gulf Access Canal homes. So we're going to dive into those 3 quadrants. The first is southeast. This is where along Del Prado, where the Walmart's at, the hospital, and then as we get further down south on Del Prado, you have the downtown Cape Coral area on Cape Coral Parkway, and then the Yacht Club beach over there in the very southern tip. This is the first part of Cape Coral. So you see a lot of older homes in this area, a lot of smaller homes in this area compared to other areas. So median price point, $599,000 for a Gulf Access Canal home. That's incredible. Under $600,000 is the median price point for a Gulf Access Canal home in Cape Coral in the southern eastern part. Homes sold, over 35 homes, or not over, but 35 homes sold for the month of July in southeast Cape Coral. Currently, there are 259 homes available for purchase in this area, and that takes us to 7.4 months of inventory. So definitely a buyer's market, but just barely. We're over the 6 months at 259 homes available. But I see a lot of people getting a lot of great opportunities in this area. Sure, the home's a little bit older. Some of them have been remodeled, so you do get some older homes with some nice finishes. However, a lot of the canals in this area are easy access out to the Caloosahatchee River. Very close. Without any challenges, just take your boat running out. A lot of unrestricted canals, meaning there's no bridges. So if you do have a sailboat or a tire boat, you don't have that restriction, and easier to get out as well. And there's a lot of homes in this area that sit not in flood zones. So I'm seeing a lot of clients request, Barry, I want a Gulf Access Canal home, but I don't want to be in a flood zone. Well, we have those options. Those are definitely in this southeast area. We have some in the other areas as well, just not with as good of access or easy access out to open water as we might find in the southeast area. So also, it's the most convenient area. Easy access over the Midpoint Bridge and the Cape Coral Bridge over to Fort Myers. Moving along, we're gonna go to the southwest Cape Coral. Now this area here is obviously in the southwestern part. It's mainly the Chiquita over to, well, from Santa Barbara west, the whole way over to Sands. And out that way, you're gonna get the biggest, best, most mature neighborhoods in this area. It's very much built out. So you don't have as much new construction. A lot of it was built out in the 2000s, early 2000s, into the mid 2000s. There are still some new homes in this area. However, they do sell for a premium because it's such a limited space. But the Southwest median price point, $710,000. Sold homes, 29 sold homes in Southwest Cape Coral. Homes available, 295 homes available right now, and 10.2 months of inventory. That's a lot of inventory. So this is often referred to as one of the most desirable areas of Cape Coral. And it has to do with the nicer homes in this area, the bigger homes, since it was built a little bit later than the southeastern part of Cape Coral. There's a lot of bigger homes in this area, a lot of streets lined with the royal palms, absolutely beautiful. And the homes tend to hold their value quite a bit here in the southwestern part. You also have access to Tarpon Point, which is a nice area of restaurants and boutique shopping, as well as Cape Harbor at the end of Chiquita over there, and then some great parks in the area as well. But the southeast or the southwest area is definitely very desirable, and it does maintain higher prices just because it is often newer construction than the southeastern part, and you do have some easy access out to open water. Now, one of the big things I wanted to point out to you is they just removed the Chiquita lock, which was a lock that most of these houses, the boats were behind the lock, which didn't really hurt the value of them. But now that the lock is gone, it certainly opens up the access easier for these folks, which has in turn increased the values just a bit over there, and will increase those values as we go forward. So that's where we're at for the southwest. Northwest, this is Burnt Store Road in the northwestern part of Cape Coral out to Matlacha Pass. Median price point, $910,000 for a home there. Homes sold, just 7 homes sold in the last month. Homes available, 120. Months of inventory, 17.1. So a ton of inventory there for the amount of buyers that we're having. What I want to point out in this area is it's an up and coming area. Beautiful area. However, it's a little more spaced out. The lots are the same size as anywhere else, but oftentimes you don't have a neighbor next to you because the houses haven't been built out. So there's a lot of empty lots in this area, which makes it feel more open and a lot more easier access to different areas, but it makes it feel more like you're living in the country. However, it is starting to, a lot of the neighborhoods are starting to get built out, and you do have neighbors around for sure. Some of the best parks are in this area, Serenia Vista, Joe Stonis, and then you have the Burnt Store boat ramp up there as well. Or you have easy access out through the North Spreader out to Matlacha Pass. If you love to kayak, it's a great area for that through the mangroves. Just a really cool area up there, but it's lagging a little bit in how much is built out. So they're in the process along Pine Island Road. They're building that out like crazy now with the Farmer Joe's grocery store, ABC liquor store, all kinds of restaurants going in. And then we're also looking at the 7 Island area, which is right there in the Burnt Store Road area, which once that's built out, they're gonna have high-end boutique shops, restaurants, they're gonna have a hotel, really luxury high-end condos there, a marina. It's gonna be absolutely amazing. And when that does come in, that's really gonna boost the values in that area. However, that's probably still a few years out. They are in the planning phases still. And then you have other shopping centers that are going in over there as well, movie theaters, all kinds of fun stuff. It's just not built out quite yet. Now, the higher price point there, let's talk about that, is $910,000. Why is it higher than everywhere else? Well, most of this is new construction. You can drive through the area over there and you'll see brand new, beautiful homes, 2,500, 3,000 square feet, 3-car garages. They've got the swimming pool, the beautiful boat dock, captain's walk, tiki huts right in their backyard, and it's easy access out to open water. So because of the newer inventory there, the houses do sell at a premium. Now you can still find homes there that are 10 years old, 15 years old, 20 years old. They are available and they're very reasonable prices, but it is an up and coming area. So you just have to understand that if you're going to buy in this area, that you're buying opportunity, and it will go up over the next few years quite a bit, I imagine. And then it's right near the Matlacha, the little town of Matlacha, which has some really cool restaurants and art galleries and ice cream shops and all kinds of cool stuff there. If you haven't been to Matlacha, definitely check that out when you come here to the Cape Coral area. All right, other key numbers to be aware of. This is what's dictating or what's running our interest rates. We have inflation. We peaked at 9.1% back in June 2022. We're now sitting at 2.7%. The last few months, we did go down a little bit lower than that, but we have been creeping back up. So last month, we were at 2.7%. Here we are again at 2.7%. We'd love to see that under 2%. I think that's what's going to get the Federal Reserve to really change rates or drop the rates, but 2.7% is where we were at right now. November 2023 interest rates, we peaked at 8.01% back in November 2023. We're currently sitting at 6.71%, which is about one of the lowest interest rates it's been all year. We saw it jump up closer to 7%, and now we're trending back the other way. Our target's below 6.5%. I think that loosens things up a little bit, especially if we could get below 6.5% and stay there for a couple of months. If we got below 6%, I believe a lot of that pent up demand that's sitting on the sidelines that's been telling me for the last couple of years, Barry, I'm waiting for rates to go down, I'm waiting for rates to go down. That's where that's at. And if we get below 6%, I think we're going to see a lot of those folks jump into the market as well. Unfortunately, those folks are still staying up north in the wintertime, and they're missing out on these beautiful winters we have here in Cape Coral where you're parking your boat in your backyard. They do come down and rent sometimes for a month at a time, but pay attention. If you're in a position to buy and you'd like to spend this winter down here in your house, this is a great time to do it. Unemployment is at 4.2% and staying steady. We've been up and down around unemployment. We've been around 3.8, 3.9, 4, 4.1, 4.2, up and down, back and forth for the last 3 years or so. Now, we did just have a jobs report come out that was a lot less desirable, I guess, than it has been in a long time. So we're keeping an eye on that. That may translate into the unemployment. We will find out if that number starts to increase. If that number starts to increase, then ideally or interest rates will start to come down, as that signifies a more unsteady economy. Supply, current inventory, 2,822 homes available in the city of Cape Coral. This is all single family homes in the city of Cape Coral. So if you see people talking about outrageous numbers that Cape Coral's got this much, Lee County has this much, here's the actual number. Looking at the MLS right now, 2,822 homes currently available for sale on the MLS. That's a year-over-year increase of 8.4%, which is substantially lower than it has been the last few years. Seems like year-over-year we were seeing jumps of like 40%, 30%, 25%. Quite a bit higher than that, but our year-over-year increase was just 8.4% for July 2025 from July 2024. The other thing I wanted to point out as well is back in March, we had over 3,500 homes available on the market. Today, 2,800. Where I would like to see, I believe a nice balanced market would be, is anywhere from 2,500 to 2,700 single-family homes on the market at any given time. And I think we're getting closer to that. We're going to know a lot more once we get into next season, January, February, March. That's what's going to tell us what's going to happen here for the next year. However, if interest rates start to come down, I believe that number is going to keep trending down for the next few months for sure. Population is currently estimated at 240,000 people here in the city of Cape Coral. In the next 5 years, we're expected to be 260,000 people. So no matter what people say, if they say Cape Coral is a ghost town, there's nobody here anymore, that's just a lie. We've got lots of people here. Traffic is moving just fine. A lot of people at 240,000 people and continuing to increase. By 2050, we're going to have 320,000 people here, and we're often ranked as one of the fastest growing cities in the country. So we are moving forward. As more people move here, that's more demand for real estate, which means more demand for our homes, which increases prices. Now, one of the things that you do have to pay attention to, and I didn't mention before, but our supply is starting to drop. And a lot of that has to do with builders. The builders have started slowing up. We're not seeing as many new homes coming to the market as we did last year. So that number is also decreasing as well, which is hurting or not hurting, but causing our inventory to decrease. So is now the time to buy? And again, I've been saying this, yes, if you're in a position to buy, you've always been dreaming about being down here, you're ready to relocate, or maybe you're ready to retire in the area, now's a great time to buy. Why waste another minute there in the north with those cold winters? We have so many options available right now. However, they are starting to shrink, but compared to where we were 3 or 4 years ago, we have a lot of options available. You're going to find the right house for you. So go ahead and call me and we'll start investigating what it is what that home looks like for you. It's a buyer's market. We're still in a buyer's market, especially for Gulf Access Canal homes. We have enough inventory here and we don't have as many buyers. So we're in a buyer's market, which means sellers are willing to negotiate. We are sitting at the end of summer, which means we're going into our slower months. The middle of August into the middle of October is our slowest months here in Cape Coral for selling homes. That means opportunity, because if you do find a great home that you like, oftentimes those sellers are willing to negotiate to get a lower price. Now, some aren't, but that's where we start the conversation to find out what's possible, and then we can put together a plan to help you achieve your goal of living here in Cape Coral in a Gulf Access Canal home. Our price is going to be going up anytime soon. I believe they're going to be staying steady or going down a bit more over the next few months, but we're going to monitor that as well. I am surprised to see how fast inventory is dropping, and if that continues to do so, then prices will start to level out, and then if interest rates drop, we will see those start to increase. So is now the time to sell? Well, as inventory decreases, it becomes more and more a better time to sell, but you have to ask yourself why you want to sell. You know what you want for your home, and I'm happy, and I've done this with multiple clients. We go sit down and we chat about the possibility of selling their home and what it looks like. And if it's not the money that they were expecting, then they tell me, Barry, it's just not for me right now. And I say, I understand. And we are going to follow up with them. And then when it does come time, we're going to list that house. But I do like chatting with clients. If you're down here or maybe you're still in the north, we can certainly have that conversation and see what it looks like to sell your house right now. If it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense for you. I understand that. There's no reason to put a home on the market if it's not going to sell. What homes are selling right now? Homes that are selling right now are going to be homes that are updated, homes that are the brand new homes, homes that are priced correctly. If a home is not priced correctly, maybe it's outdated, it hasn't been updated for 20 years, 30 years, there's parts of it that just are completely outdated. You have to understand you're not going to get top dollar for that house. So you have to lower the price accordingly in order to sell that property. And then strategic selling. One of the cool things about me and my team and what we do is we use AI for selling. We put together a strategic marketing plan. We're out there in all kinds of different platforms advertising the properties. We have a great YouTube channel like this one, which we can put your property on the YouTube channel. And then we have a lot of buyers as well that we like to market your properties to as well. But really it's all about the strategic selling, putting it in front of the most amount of eyes in order to see your property, and then that'll get you the highest price in the quickest amount of time. All right, this concludes the market update for Gulf Access Canal homes here in the city of Cape Coral for August 2025. Go ahead and hit that link below to schedule your video strategy call. I'd love to chat with you whether you're thinking about buying, selling, and investing, retiring, or relocating here. We've got a lot of great opportunities right now. So let's find out exactly what it is that you would like to do, and then we can chat about the steps that it would take to get that done, whether it's buying or selling. I have a lot of great team members too, a lot of contacts as far as lenders, insurance agents, and lots of great information that I can get you. So don't be concerned if people tell you, no, you don't want to live there. Insurance is absolutely insane. Well, there are some areas that are very high for insurance and flood insurance, but there are other areas that are very reasonable. So if that's your concern, we'll look in the areas that are more reasonable for you. As far as selling your house, if you aren't sure if you can sell your house right now, go ahead and reach out to me. We'll chat about that as well. But go ahead and click the link in the description below to schedule your strategy call with me. You're also welcome to call or text. I am quite busy, so if you do call and I don't pick up the phone, leave me a message and I'll get back to you rather quickly. And then we'll go forward from there. But thank you for taking the time to watch, making realty dreams a reality here in the beautiful city of Cape Coral.